Hey guys. Okay, here's my next UFO sighting. UFO sighting, ET experience, and a lot of confusion to boot. So I go through it. It's a long, one of my best nights that I'll never forget in 100 lifetimes. Well, maybe 100, but so Chatham, Ontario, early 80s. I'm sitting there. It's Sunday night, or maybe Monday night. I don't know. Yeah, no, Monday night, Monday morning. And it's 11 o'clock. We watched Sanford and Son for a half an hour, me and my buddy at my house. At 11 o'clock and 11:30, In Search Of comes on. So we're watching In Search Of, and it's about UFOs. So we're watching this. I'm totally enthralled. And I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm like so excited. So we watched the episode, and the credits start rolling up. It got over. My buddy, and I'm going to walk him home down the road at midnight. Walk him home. I'm going to go to the store and buy something and call it a night. So the credits are rolling up at the end of the show. Remember that? And then credits are rolling up. He goes and goes to the bathroom. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching the credits, and I say to myself, wow, I wish I could see a UFO like that. I say it. I go, I really wish I could see a UFO like that. And then he comes out of the bathroom, we get our stuff, and we're walking home. So I get outside, and it's like perfect night. 70 degrees, no wind at all, still, nice warm night. Perfect night. And we're walking home, or I'm walking him home. I'm going to go to the store. We're walking down Park Ave to the east. And as we're walking, there's about 5 houses to our left. Properties, 5 houses. Then we come to a factory, okay? And it's a big blue building. And at the end of the big blue building, there's a big parking lot. And at the far end of the parking lot, there's the railway tracks that run along the railway tracks. And I have to tell you this. I'm going to Google some video in here too. So anyway, we're walking along. We get past the houses. We get to the factory. And all of a sudden, I feel something staring at me, like, staring at me. And I'm like, hey man, do you feel something? I go, I feel like I'm being stared at. Do you feel something? And he goes, yep, I was going to tell you, but you said it first. And I'm like, cool. I go, so you feel this, right? He's like, yeah, I feel it. And we're walking past the blue factory. And as we're walking, I'm going, and it's really irritating me. I go, I wonder what the fuck that is. And so I started looking up in the sky, because that's where it's coming from, right? In the sky, in the night sky. And I don't see nothing. There's nothing in the sky. Everything's normal. There's a big chemtrail going over. I'm just looking at it. So I'm looking up in the sky, and I can't see it, but I feel it. It's really bad. And I go, you really feel this? And he goes, yeah, I feel it, man. He goes, I don't want to know. I just want to go home. I don't care. And I go on, and I'm thinking, and I think I said to him, I go, oh, it must be just that In Search Of movies got us freaked out, right? And I wanted to say that, but I don't think I did. And I'm thinking it to myself, I go, fuck, this is just that fucking UFO In Search Of movie that we just watched, right? About UFOs. And I go, well, that's all it is. It's got to be. But I'm feeling it, and it's really powerful. And he's feeling it, so what the fuck is going on, right? And I can't, but I don't see nothing in the sky, but I'm feeling it. And it's like right there. And I'm looking, and I don't see nothing. And we get past, as soon as we get past the big factory building, the big blue building, boom! We get to the parking lot, and it fucking hits us like crazy. Like we're being hunted like rabbits. And I'm like, holy shit, man, is it powerful now, right? And he's like, yep, let's get going. And I'm like, no, hold on a minute. So I stopped him the best I could. He didn't want to. He goes, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to go. He goes, I want to go. I want to get the hell out of here. And I go, you feel this, right? I'm not fucking losing my mind. He's like, no, man, it's fucking real. I don't know what it is. I don't care. I want to fucking go home. That's fucking it. Now let's fucking go. And I'm like, okay, calm the fuck down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy. I go, I want to know, and you're confirming it for me. And something's going on. I don't know what it is. And so he's like, I don't fucking care what it is. I don't care. I want to go. And so we keep walking, and the feeling's hitting us like so bad, like we're going to get killed. And it's in the chest. It's right here, right in the chest. And it's staring at us. And as soon as we get past the parking lot, and when I stopped, I looked across the parking lot to where the feeling was coming from, and it was coming from on top of the trees, the far end of the parking lot on the railroad tracks. And on the other side of the railroad tracks is like warehouses and stuff like that. So it was more factories and warehouses, stuff like that. There was no properties back there at where this feeling was coming from. And so I'm looking, and along the treetops, along the factory, and I'm looking all the way up over my head, and I'm looking, and I can't see. There's nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Because I stopped, and I made sure I fucking looked. Because I felt this happened to me 100 times. And I wanted to see what the hell it was staring at me, right? And my buddy, he kept on walking. He's like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here, right? And he started walking home. But I stood and looked. And I looked real good. Real good. Nothing. I couldn't see nothing. And it was almost like I could see through the ET's eyes at myself. And it's like, man, he stopped. He knows. He feels it. That's what the ETs were saying, I think. But I don't even know it's ETs at this point in my head, right? And so anyway, oh, crazy stuff. So anyway, I jog up and catch up to him. And we get past the parking lot, and the feeling starts going away. And I'm like, wow, the feeling's gone. He's like, yep. And he goes, I still feel it. I just want to get home. And I'm like, okay. And I felt it a little bit, but not like I did when I was standing there. So he goes home, crosses LaCroix, goes to his house. I cross Park Ave and go to the store at the corner on Google. I'm showing you on Google here. And I'll show you pictures and stuff. And I go to the store, buy a glass bottle of pop. They only had glass back in the day. They were just starting to make cans, but there was only glass for us. And there's a bottle of pop, Coca-Cola, call it pop, soda, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, in Canada, it's pop. So, I buy a Coke, and I leave the store. I'm walking out the store, and I'm walking towards my home. Now, Park Ave from the store, LaCroix, to Bloomfield is about 5 miles, okay? Straight line. So this street goes down about 5 miles. I'm walking. I hope I crack the pop cap off, and I go to take a drink. I look up, and I see two very, very, very bright headlights come out where my house is. I don't know if it was at my house, but it was damn close, at eaves trough level. Okay, it was eaves trough level of a house, like the first story, and then you have the eaves troughs, and then you have the roof. Well, this came out at eaves trough level because I remember exactly. I could see it coming out, and it came out. Imagine my fingertips are lights of a car, headlights of a car, and they came out like this on the road, a 2-lane road, dirt, gravel on each side of the road. And it's a pretty well-traveled road, but not tonight. So anyway, it comes out, it stops. And I'm thinking, as it's coming out, I'm going, since when do trucks? And I figure it's turning, because there's no road there, so it's got to be coming out of a parking lot or a driveway near my house. A truck. But I'm going, well, how does it drive sideways? That's my first thing. I'm going, how the fuck does the truck drive sideways? And I already forgot about the feeling. I already forgot about it. And, well, not really, but I did. And I got something on my glasses here. So anyway, I'm like, how does the truck drive sideways? Then it stops on the road, and there's a headlight here and a headlight here, and one on each side of a 2-lane road. And I'm going, damn, that's a wide ass truck. It must be some kind of special truck. And I go, that drives sideways. And also I realized there's brake lights from a car about another 3 miles down the road. I could barely see them. Like there, I could see them clearly, but they were far away. Brake lights, two little red dots from a car, another 3 miles underneath the 2 main lights. And I'm like, how can I see brake lights from a truck sitting on a road underneath the truck? That makes no sense. And and the light, there was no shadows moving around. There's no light reflecting off the road. And I couldn't understand it. I couldn't put it together. And I'm looking at it, but there's no, all I see is like light, and it's like light and light. I couldn't see no structure, but I'm assuming there was structure there making the lights, but I couldn't see no structure. But I couldn't see, if it was a long object, there was no structure to it. It was just 2 lights blinding out any structure that was there. And I could see the brake lights right underneath. And if there was a structure there, I didn't see it. But the 2 lights were there, and they were bright. Just then I go, what the fuck is that? What is that? And I'm sitting there, and I just looked really good. I'm like, what is that? And all of a sudden, a voice inside me, in my head, said, you wish to see a UFO? And I went, and then I remembered, boom. I remembered me sitting there watching the Twilight Zone about UFOs, and I did say that. I wish I could see a UFO. And here it is. I freaked. I got tingles, ran up my body. I mean, I was electric. My hair is standing up. I dropped the bottle, smashed on the ground. I'm like, holy shit. And I freaked. I couldn't even breathe. And it's just sitting there on the road, right where my house is. And it ain't moving. And I didn't know what to do. I was like a deer in the headlights, man. I'm looking at it, and all this is hitting me at once. And then all of a sudden I hear a car coming off LaCroix turning towards the UFO. And I thought, man, I'm going to go jump on the hood of this car. Right? That's turning. I'll jump on the hood of the car and I'll get a witness to this UFO. But I turned and I look like this, and the car is turning towards the UFO. And it's just driving like normal. And he's got to see the headlights because they're fucking bright, right? And they're on one on each side of the road. And as I look back at the UFO, from the car to the UFO, there's now, as soon as I turn my head and I look back, there's a row of red lights underneath the 2 main lights, like the bottom of the craft. And it looked like red brake lights. But there's a whole row from one end to the other. And I'm like, I'm freaking. And all of a sudden, the car turns down Wedgwood, or not Wedgwood, Berry Street or something. And I'm standing there, and these 2 red lights, they're still sitting there. It ain't moved. And the row of red lights on the bottom, the brake lights of the car further on down, was gone. And all of a sudden, the 2 lights went exactly back from where it came into the house, into the houses. Exactly. And I looked really good. Now, if it was normal headlights, I noticed there was no shadow. There was no shadows. It went behind trees. It went into the houses. And you would have had shadows racing across the ground back in there. Nothing. No reflection of light. There was no light. It didn't light up the road. It didn't light up the trees. It didn't light up the houses. It didn't light up anything. There was no shadow. And I followed it go right into the houses. And I'm sitting there watching it, and it just appeared into the houses, and it never went up. It never went anywhere. And all of a sudden I realized I gotta go home. Right towards it. And all of a sudden I realized the thing that was staring at us. I'm like, oh fuck. Oh fuck. And immediately I thought about going to my buddy's house. And he just lived across the street 2 houses away. And I thought, hell no, he's never going to do nothing, right? And so I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I think I'm going to get abducted by the aliens, right? Because I just watched that goddamn Search Of movie. And that's freaking me out. So I don't know what to do. I run back in the store, and I call my sister. I call my sister. I grab a quarter, throw it in the phone. I call my sister, and she picks up the phone. And I go, hey. She goes, what? And she goes, there's a UFO inside the house. I just saw it go into our driveway. I go, or the empty lot, or somewhere near there. Because there's another house beside us, and then there's a big ass empty lot. Okay, I'll show you on the Google. And I go, it went in the empty lot, or up our driveway, or eBay's driveway, something like that. And I go outside and take a look. She goes, fuck you, I ain't leaving this bed. She goes, I ain't leaving this bed. She goes, I ain't fucking going outside. I'm like, go outside, look, see if it's still there. And I go, I'm at the store, I gotta come home. She goes, oh well, you're gonna die, I don't care. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I go, well, what am I gonna do? She goes, I don't know. And so I'm like, okay, well, you got any money on you? You can call me a cab, because I just blew the $1 I had, right? I go, call me a cab. And she goes, well, I ain't got no money. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, come on, give me some money. And I go, and so we didn't end up calling a cab. None of us had any money. And I'm like, well, just stay on the phone with me for a while. And I told her what I saw. And I look over at the cashier, and the cashier's going, staring at me like, anyway, that was funny. Like a crazy guy. And so I talked to my sister for about 15 minutes on the phone. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go home and brave it. So I'm hiding in the store, and I come out, and it's like 1 o'clock by now, right? It's like 1 o'clock. And I look down the road, and I'm standing under the store now. I'm standing under the store lights, and I'm like, oh my God. And there's nobody on the road. There's nobody. And so I slowly cross the parking lot to the store. I come out on the road, and I look, and I see my broken pop on the sidewalk. So I pass it, and I'm walking slowly, and I don't feel nothing. Everything seems to be all right. But I know by that factory where I got started, that's going to be bad. And so as I'm walking up, I cross the road, and I figure I'll hide under the trees. I'll go from yard to yard. I'll run from yard to yard, from tree to tree. Because everybody in there had a tree in their front yard, right? So I'll run from tree to tree to tree. So that's what I did. I before I got to the parking lot, I ran from tree to tree to tree real fast. I ran to the tree, and I ran. And then I get to the last thing before the parking lot. And I can feel it staring at me. It's not the same low. It's not the low vibe of staring. It was a little higher. It was more higher. And I could feel it. It was higher. And I could feel it. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I can't make it. I ain't going to make it. And so I'm looking in the sky underneath this tree. I'm looking. And I just thought, oh, Christ, I can't take it anymore. So I just ran as fast as I could. And it was a long run, too. It was long. For me, it seemed like it lasted forever. So I could feel this thing. It was like far away, sitting out towards the cornfield, just past my house, sitting in the sky. I could almost feel exactly where it was in the sky. And, or whatever. I could feel it that way, right there. And I ran. across the parking lot, across the factory to the next tree. And I went in there, stayed under that tree till I caught my breath. Then I ran from house to house to house. And then I ran I ran up the driveway of my bedroom, up my house, up the driveway into the back door, opened to the back door, and threw myself in there real fast. I run across the run across the kitchen, and then I grab my sister's bedroom door and I rip it open, and all I see is her throw the covers over her head, and I jump on top of her. I'm going, ah, fucker, and she's like screaming, ah! And I pounded on her. I'm not hitting her. I'm just like, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I fucking made it. And so I sat with her for about an hour and we talked about, I told her my experience about exactly what happened and how I felt it and everything. It was funny. So, I then spent the night in the living room watching TV all night long. I went to school the next day, didn't sleep all night, went to school the next day, came home, spent all night. I couldn't sleep. That's how fucking freaked I was. Couldn't sleep. Went to school the next day, came home, and I stayed up till about 10, 11. Everybody else was asleep. So I ain't slept in 2 days. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm totally out of it. I'm just like, right? And the only thing that's keeping me alive is coffee. And I go, okay, I gotta go to bed. I can't stay like this. Whatever is wrong with me. I was too afraid to go to bed. Because he'd come, but I didn't know that at the time. I was too afraid to go to sleep because that's what I'd see. You understand? Because that was my experiences in the past, but I couldn't put it together in my fucking brain because I was freaking out all the time. But I do now. I know now. So I'm laying there and I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, calm down. Think, Rich. Think you can fucking do it. So I just saw a UFO, right? And I'm going, why did that happen? And it goes, and a voice said, you wish to see one. You wish to see a UFO. And I go, oh yeah, Sanford and Son, I remember. I go, Sanford, in search of, that's right. I go, in search of, I wish I could see a UFO. That's what I said. Loud and clear, I said it out loud. And I'm like, holy shit. Within 15 minutes, I saw one. After that, I made that wish. And I'm like, so I make a wish. Aliens in another galaxy or space dimension far, far away go, hey, somebody wants to see a UFO. Let's fly across the galaxy and show them. And I go, so I wish to see, this is what I'm saying to myself. So I go, I wish to see a UFO. And the aliens show up from who knows where in the universe to my house, to Hick Richard in Chatham, Ontario. Mr. Nobody, poor as dirt, can't fucking do nothing. And they show up to me and my friend. To me, mostly, because I saw the craft. He didn't. He just had the feeling of it. And I confirmed the feeling. But there's nothing in the sky. So I'm like, how are they to know? How are they to know that I made the wish? And that's what I said. I said, okay, great wishful aliens. How do you know I made a wish? I go, do I got a fucking listening device in my head? Behind my eyeball? Is my house bugged by the aliens? And this is what I'm thinking, right? I'm going, how do they know I wish to see a UFO? How do they know I wish to see a UFO? So, that hung with me for a long time. And I thought about it for a long time. Long time, like years. How do they know that I said out loud, I wish I could see a UFO? And I go, well, there's got to be something else going on. Eventually, I came to the conclusion, there's more to life than just physical reality and my perception of it. I don't know what it is, but the only thing I must have a soul. And this soul must be connected to the ETs somehow. Because that's the only fucking way they would know. Or my spirit. Somehow, some way. And I barely even clued into that. I barely even clued in. I just thought, well, maybe I have a soul. And somehow my soul was talking to the aliens. Because there's nothing. There's no listening devices. There's nothing. This is the only thing left in my conclusions of reasoning. There's no fucking way an alien race somewhere out in the universe heard me mouth, "Oh, we should see you," right after In Search Of movie. I make a stupid wish under my breath, and the fucking aliens come from somewhere out in the universe. And there's only one thing left. Something inside me, that I don't know nothing about. Absolutely nothing. And I said, yep, that's got to be it. There's got to be something inside me, a spirit, a soul. I've heard about it. Don't know nothing about it. And how would I know? I'm feeling the UFO in my chest, or whatever it was staring at me in my chest. I go, how the fuck does that work? How do you feel? How is this thing staring at me and I feel it? What is feeling? Like, it was overpowering. So you can't deny it. And then I thought about the thing in my face. And I thought about all this shit. And I'm going, there's got to be something more. There's got to be the soul. There's got to be some kind of soul thing going on. I didn't know nothing. I didn't have no books on this. You don't have books in the library in Chatham. You don't have books in school. I had one little book that I ordered from school back in grade 4. And it didn't tell me shit. The only thing I got is In Search Of for anything paranormal. The radio, there's no Art Bell. There's no Coast to Coast AM on the radio. Far away we get is Cincinnati, Cleveland, Ohio, and you can barely hear it. And there was nothing like that. Nothing. Nobody had nothing for paranormal. They had no internet. And I came to the conclusion, I gotta figure out what the fuck is going on. I gotta figure out what's going on, man. Big time. Because this is freaking me out too much. Okay. So, with that, I'll leave it there and I'll get on to the next.